Yo, yo, we're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. I just jumped off the space. I got the tweets out. I got the shares done. Let's see here. Yeah, we should be good. Guys, welcome back. Wolf Bitcoin live analysis sessions here where we look at Bitcoin, the majors. Sometimes we go outside of crypto as well, but it's mainly Bitcoin and crypto focused. And yeah, and it's all through a chart analysis perspective. So really not looking at any fundamental stuff, not looking at news, events, that type of stuff. Really just looking at the charts. So welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. If you're coming in, sorry guys. Oh my god. If you're coming in, hold on. There we go. Fix that. If you're coming in, do me a favor and like the stream. Give the stream a like, give it a repost if you wouldn't mind. Drop a comment. Drop a comment. That always helps. If you're on YouTube, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you like the stream itself over there. Make sure you're following Wolf Bitcoin on both platforms that you're subbed. And yeah, share it out. Share it out. Let's get some people on these streams. All right, so we got people coming in on X, and the YouTube stream is also live. It looks good. Guys, as always, this stuff is not financial advice. I am not making any kind of claims as to what you should be buying or selling. No recommendations, no suggestions, none of that. We're just looking at chart analysis. To look at a chart, we need to pull up a chart. So we're going to pull up some charts to look at the chart. And we're going to report on price action structure, where the chart is potentially heading based on chart analysis principles. We always give both sides of the coin. We say, look, if it goes up, this is an area of interest. If it goes down, this is an area of interest. And that's it. But it's as always, trading, investing, it's all very, very risky. You might lose all of your money, at least some of your money, very likely to lose some of your money, maybe all of it. And you should always do your own due diligence, do your own research, and go consult with a financial advisor when that applies or where it applies. So shout out to Public for sponsoring the show. Public, did I get the Public message posted? I did. All right, cool. So Public is sponsor of the show. They're an investing platform, a brokerage that has really a wide range of assets that you can look at there on their platform that you can trade or buy and hold. So it doesn't really matter if you're short term, long term. They're going to have something for you over there: stocks, bonds, crypto, options. And what's unique about Public is that they've really leaned into offering AI tools and agentic solutions to really just let you take advantage of that technology when it comes to your portfolio. So go check them out, public.com/wolf. Shout out to them for sponsoring the show and continuing to support Wolf Bitcoin and the Wolf Financial ecosystem. What's up, man? We got Trade Decision Lab in the house today. What's up, dude? It's good to have you. It's been good having you on these streams and on spaces. Glad you're enjoying them, it seems like, based on your comments. So let me make sure that I'm not missing anything on X. Nah, we look good there. We look good. All right, let's jump into it. I should already have my chart ready to pull up here. Boom. Let's see. Why hasn't that updated though? Hold on, guys. That's not updating. Let's remove that. Let's do this. For some reason, that's not updating. Share screen. Trading view. There we go. Now it updated. Why does it make me pick it twice? It's very strange. Add that back. There we go. All right. Should be working now. And let me test it by switching over to something else. Yeah, we're good now. Stablecoin. Yep. All right, cool. Now it's updating. I appreciate that, dude. Definitely appreciate that. We've got a good little group. Good little community we've put together. For sure. Let me see here real quick. Why is there a Yeah, I don't know. All right. Sorry, guys. I did some updates, and you guys know that our StreamYard already hates me. And I do updates, and my computer starts kind of wigging out on me a little bit, but it is should be good now. So, look, guys, we talked about this Bitcoin potential pump. We've been talking about it. We reviewed it. So far, it's looking pretty good. We got the break of structure that we were looking for here. So we did finally push above that like 61K zone. We're a little bit above it. Ideally, I want to see this kind of continue to chop here. If it pulls back, it's no big deal at this point. We now have the opportunity to set a higher low somewhere. So this can come significantly below this high, and it doesn't really cause me a whole lot of stress. If it's super bullish, let's see if we can estimate maybe what that might look like. Yeah, I think if it's pretty healthy, it has a chance to kind of stay above that level, stay in the upper part of this channel here. But even if it comes down, I think it's fine. I mean, maybe it even needs to come like sweep down into here. Wouldn't be the end of the world. Would be fine. Like that could work as well. So yeah, you know, whether this kind of hangs out here and just does something like that and then goes higher, or whether this needs to pull back a little bit somewhere in here, maybe do something like that could happen. Or these moves could be deeper. Like these moves could be deeper and it needs to do something like that. Maybe, you know, that could happen as well. All this is fine. Ideally, right? Like the thing to take away here is we're looking for a higher low. We're looking for a higher low if this thing is to continue going to the upside, which I believe it should. I believe it should. I don't have a reason to think that it won't at this point. So it looks pretty good. Daily range. Yeah, look, we're breaking up. We're above 50% of the previous week. So that's also good to see there. We wicked above it. We're slightly below it again, but we're making progress. We're heading in the right direction here. Weekly range, right? So this is the high of last week, low of last week, which we did sweep. All of that looks good there. Yeah, nothing that I'm like super concerned about. I think all of this looks fine. So I think this keeps going. There's also confluence between what we said we were looking for here with stablecoin. So there was two scenarios that we wanted to see with stablecoin dominance, right? Two scenarios that we've kind of been covering. We said either it needed one more sweep of the highs for it to roll over. So something like this, right? Which ultimately would have led to the second scenario anyways, which is a break of structure here, a break of these lows, right? To move away from it. And then I want to see a move back up for a bearish retest. And then I want to see that roll over. So even though we didn't get the sweep of the highs, right? Which would have been like the final blow off, right? This ultimately would have led to the same thing though. This would, you do the trap move, you'd come down, you'd break structure, still would be very likely to give something like that anyways. So the only difference was we just didn't get that big spike up. And that's fine. No big deal. So in my opinion, the next thing we're looking for here is, even if this comes down a little bit more, which it could right here, there's a very interesting area that we could see this have maybe one more leg towards. Ultimately, I do think this comes back up somewhere near that structure break. It could be a little bit below it, could be a little bit above it, but somewhere near that structure break. And I do think we get the potential for a bearish retest there, and then we'll be looking for a move here to the low of this range, at least, right? So if stable coins do that, then it is my opinion that if stablecoins do that, that is where, if stablecoin still has one more leg down, this likely could still have one more leg up, right? And then it starts heading down. If stablecoin doesn't put one more leg down and stablecoin is done dropping and it's now ready to head higher, then this thing should start moving that way as well. Or sorry, the other way, right? Because these are inversely correlated, right? So either this is going to do this and then that, and maybe as high as this, maybe as high as that, right? Doesn't have to go that high, but it could. And we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. But that's kind of how I'm reading that. If you're long, I think you're sitting comfy. No reason to stress here. There certainly could be an argument for hedging up here, right? Like hedging short here in case something happens, this comes down and it just can't catch a bounce, and then you end up sitting back near entry. A short position here as a hedge could make sense, especially if you don't want to close those longs, or maybe it's too early for you to take profit, right? So it could be one way to think about this chart is through that lens there. Good vibes as well. Appreciate that. Now looking for buys as well after some retracement after that break of structure. Agreed. Jam, what's up, dude? Corrective, says this guy. I don't want to hear your crap, man. This guy. What's up, Scotty? Thanks for the repost, dude. So hype or so clean today for longs. Oof. Yeah. Lots happening there. We'll go look at that. I want to revisit the lighter prediction that we made on the last stream as well, which was essentially this. I want to revisit that here in a little bit so we can look at the potential for that actually being a thing. Because we did cover this like yesterday or the day before. I can't remember exactly when that was. And then we definitely will go look at hype because the same thing. It's similar to what we kind of drew on here. We put this on here probably a few days ago, I guess, a couple days ago. We're looking for one more move up there. This was like an example or an idea of what that might look like if it were to play out. Let's find out if we're going to get that. Let's find out if we're going to get that. So Ash says corrective. I need you to clarify, sir, your statement that you are making here. Are you calling this corrective? It does look very, very choppy. It is very, very choppy. The only impulsive thing in this whole thing is the initial move up. And I guess this here, you can call that maybe a little bit of an impulse. But yeah, I will say like this again. So this reminds me. Okay, so let me put it this way. You guys have seen me draw this many times, this exact pattern here. You've seen me draw this exact pattern when we're talking about breakouts, right? Like when we have like a high, and I'm always saying that I like to see a big break, and then I like to see it chop away from a level and then come somewhere below that first pullback, at least, if not all the way to the top of the range. And then usually that's where I like to position for the move, right? So this is not all that different. You had some highs here. You saw the pop. You're getting this corrective choppy thing that's happening. At some point, you could see this, but for me, that's going to be an opportunity for me to potentially see something like that, right? It's no different. It's no different. This is that time and distance that I talk about all the time. The daylight, area above the curve. Like we've got all these different ways that we've talked about it, or below the curve in this case, right? Area below the curve. That's what that is. So, in my opinion, if we do get a pullback, I'm okay with the hedging short But in my opinion, I still see more reasons to be looking for long opportunities, even on a pullback, than to be shorting. And a lot of that is just like the ranges, the candle ranges. Like we've talked a lot about this, right? So on BTC, you guys have seen me do this. That was your candle range. This was the first side. Like this is your candle range. You're playing the quiet game. No one was speaking, right? First one to speak loses. It goes across. Right now, what's tricky is that you absolutely could get a double fake out, and then this just comes and just hangs out back inside the range or goes back down. Because at this point, you've satisfied both sides of that candle. Both sides are now satisfied. Now, if you zoom out, like there's a bigger range, right? Now you've got a 3-day range, which is still valid. You still have a 3-day range, which is still valid here. You had one inside bar. You had this one break silence to the downside. Now we're moving to the other side of this 3-day range. That top of that 3-day range puts you at 63,258-ish. Okay. You could say that you're kind of doing the same thing with the weekly candle as well, right? There's your weekly candle, took downside. A lot of reasons to say, hey, can we make a move to the top of that weekly candle to now sweep out the other side and move up here, right? New week started off with a sweep of previous week low. Usually moves like that, go in the opposite direction. On that 3-day chart as well, I am going to highlight this one as well. On that same 3-day chart, you do have this bigger range as well. And the top of that range is up here at 67. And you've had two moves outside of the bottom end of that range. Nothing. In fact, this was that same 3-day range we were looking at on the move up here to 67, right? Because we were saying we wanted 67.5 and it never took it. It got so close to it. We talked about, that I was still a little bit, I was still a little suspicious of this going significantly lower because it never took the high of that. It got really close. It never really breached it, right? Could it be that now you've got two wicks out the bottom end? Is this now moving up to then wick out and satisfy the top end of that range, right? Just something to think about. This is all part of like, Ash, you and I were talking about like, what is CRT? What's candle range theory and all that? Like this is part of that, is just understanding the candle ranges. But you combine that with like what GOAT does with PO3 type stuff and the turtle soup methodology and all that. And it's just like, okay, what's the effective trading range and where are you likely to see the fake outs and where's the draw on liquidity at that point? More than likely, right? Do I see macro bottom formation or still some? No, I still think we go lower. I mean, let me put it this way. I can build a case for macro bottom formation that doesn't go significantly lower. I just don't think it's as likely. I think this gives us a run up, and I still think we have time. So basically, like what I've been saying, green July back to red August, red September, red October, going into the lows, right? His secrets are cated behind mild humor and sarcasm. I know that. Look at the move down on the left compared to the current move. The tea leaves speak to you. I missed it. I don't know what movie you're talking about, but Scam RP is good for 106. I think a lot of them are good for a little bit more upside. Yeah, it really is. It really is trying to flip it to support. So, but hey, anything goes. And look, if you are to get a fake out to the top side, if it ain't here, if that ain't it, I mean, the only other place would be somewhere up here. If that ain't it, So what I did find interesting is this, though, and I made the post. I don't know if it was last night or this morning. I cannot remember. Where I basically said this. Okay, you guys may have seen this post that I made, right? Let's clarify this on the stream for those of you that maybe saw it but don't understand what I'm talking about. You've all heard like that we need to zoom out, right? Because high time frame is where the truth lies. There's a lot of noise in low time frame. But you've also heard that sometimes you have to zoom into the lower time frames because the macro and the high time frame structure starts to shift on the lower time frames, right? You reclaim a key level on a 5-minute, then on a 15-minute, then you look for structure change on the 1 hour, and then you look for structure change on the 4 hour, and then you're looking for it on the daily, then you're looking for it on a 3-day or a weekly, right? Like it starts from little and then it goes to the higher time frames. So I think that this is interesting. If you just isolate this structure here, big move down to set a low, right? Set a low here. You had a bounce up, right? That formed a high here, a range high. And then you have another move down that just sweeps this low by a little bit, right? Sweeps it, not a significant move down. It's just a sweep of that original low after the big drop. Now you've had a move higher that has broken above this swing high here that formed the top of that range. Okay. Big move down forms a low. Move up that forms like a range high here, right? Move down that just sweeps that low by a little bit. You could even argue that it gave you two bounces here as well, a bounce and then a sweep. Okay. So this bounce and then a sweep. All I'm saying here is, is the lower time frame and short-term price action showing us what potentially is about to happen on the bigger one. This is now gone above those highs. Is this now about to go above these highs? That's what I'm asking. Right? Oh, we already did that one. So I don't know. I just think it's interesting. I think it's cool. But this looks very similar. It's all the same structure, right? It's like a structure within structure, patterns within patterns. So if it was, and then look, if it was up to me, yeah, look, there was that bounce. That was beautiful. Got that move. But no, where's the one I'm looking for? Nope. That's not the one. This one. Nope. This one. Nope. This one. There we go. So what time frame was this on? Maybe on a 4 hour? I mean, this was the squiggle that I shared. I don't know when it was. Not last week, probably the week before. I don't think this move down had happened yet. This one had happened for sure. We were probably hanging out over here. Let me find out. Hold on. June 25th. June 25th. So that's the squiggle from June 25th. Okay. That's the squiggle from June 25th. Exact squiggle. Only thing that's changed is we moved it a little bit because it didn't happen as quickly. But it's the same squiggle. The squiggle's not been altered. That's that squiggle from June 25th. Okay. All we did is basically like we were looking for it back here, didn't happen back there, so we moved it over to where it actually did happen. So I've aligned it with where the move actually happened. But everything else unchanged. Same thing. We were looking for a break above this, looking for a pullback. Maybe this pullback is here. Maybe this pullback needs to go a little bit deeper. And then we see that next move up. Then I'm kind of looking up here. Although you do have this interesting little range there. But I think I'd be looking up here at that point, up towards the high of last week. Likely to reject initially, I think. Give a pullback, same thing, and then see continuation. And then we'll see if we can get that 72 that I've been wanting to see. Maybe we don't. Maybe we just get 60, 67, 68. Maybe it's just right here. But, let me hide that. Actually, no, let me move this up because I'm still looking at that. The jury will ignore the squiggle. This guy's hilarious. Got a comedian on our show here today, ladies and gentlemen. Got a comedian on our hands here. So let's see what happens. Again, this would kind of be in line with a pullback on USDT. On stablecoin dominance, and then continuation down. Total crypto, excluding stablecoins, finally broke to the upside. One thing that I do have to call out here, total crypto never broke the downside of this range. So total crypto kind of did the opposite of what BTC did on that 3-day range previously, with the move up to like 67, but not 67.5, right? Like how close it got to that, but it didn't take it right here. Man, this would suck if this is what happened. But just the same as BTC got really close but didn't breach, and then went across and did the fake out here, and it's now potentially coming back the other way around, right? So remember this like this, just remember it like this. Is total doing the same thing where it came down and it did not sweep the low. It's now taken the high. Could this be a fake out on total, and then total comes back down? Total did not sweep those lows. Did not sweep those lows. 6 inside bars, a couple really close moves, and it did not sweep. Did not sweep the lows. This is total ES, so it is excluding stables. So could total actually be telling us that we're getting faked out on this move up, and likely what's coming is a move lower? That would suck. That would suck because I really would like that move to 72. I miss the bulls. I miss the bear mockery. I miss the called it, the bottom is in. That was your last chance to buy below 60K. I'm gonna miss that if we just turn around here. I really am. So hopefully we get it. Solana looking pretty good. It's worked its way up. It's continued pushing. It's above that area that we called out here to be cautious. So we are above that. Look, if Solana keeps chopping up here, maybe you can get a move back down here somewhere, but significantly lower, I don't think it would need to. I don't think there'd be much value in coming significantly lower. Yeah, I think it just hangs out on the upper side of the channel and then maybe continues up. So Sol looks okay. These I'm not messing with. XRP, let's look at XRP because Scotty's bullish. Scotty's bullish. He wants to. This is the problem, though, with XRP, and the main difference between XRP and Bitcoin right now is Bitcoin started the new month with a sweep of the low of the previous month. XRP did not. XRP did not. And with Bitcoin, because it did it on the monthly, it also did it on the quarterly. So Bitcoin is now moving higher after a sweep of previous quarter's low. Right? XRP did not. If it had done it, I'd probably be a little more bullish on XRP. Let's check Solana. Solana monthly looks terrible. This one looks terrible as well, but this is actually in line with my idea here for Sol. Would be brutal if Sol is just coming up to sweep last quarter's high, and then it's going to go for last quarter's low. That would be painful. That would be painful. But yeah, I think Sol has at least to move up to here, which is what, 100? Yeah, 98, somewhere in there. I think it hits 100 with maybe the potential that it comes up here between 125, 150-ish, maybe. Maybe. If this thing's got some legs, maybe it could do that. Let's look at the 6 month on Sol. More than likely, it's just going to sweep this, though. More than likely, Sol's just going to go there, and then it's going to come and take those lows. More than likely. We'll see. We shall see. We shall see. But yeah, that's my problem with XRP, though. So it didn't take last quarter or last month lows. And let's get a candle range of last month's candle. 50% is sitting at $1.16. I think that's above where you're looking anyways, right, Scotty? I think you're looking for did you say you're looking for a move higher, Scotty? Good long at 106. Let's look at the weekly area. Yeah, I wish it would have swept lows first, because now that is my concern. My concern is, it comes up here, 116, and then rolls. Let's look at the daily range. Okay, so all right, so taking what we just said about BTC and putting it into practice here with XRP. Okay. So you did get a breach here on the daily to the downside. So that's fair. And then now you took the upside. Let's look at 3-day. 3-day has not taken the top side yet, but let's mark that out on XRP. Here, we'll relabel this. Let's call it 3-day range high. There's your 3-day range high. Is there anything on the 5-day that's interesting? Nice little reversal set up here. Little reversal fractal on the 5-day. That looks clean. Boom, boom, boom. Possibility for it to come up here to 116. Maybe, yeah. 116, but that 116 is right in line with where we said on the weekly, though, right? Right here. Yeah, 116. That makes sense. So I'd say 116 or even just here. One of those is kind of where I'd be looking. But yeah, 116 makes a lot of sense to me. For XRP. Right there. Previous week high. Let's look at a 2 week on XRP. No, hold on. Don't crash. No, not the Linux kernel. It does not like me touching that line. It's fine everywhere, but I get close to that line and it fights me. Ah, hold on. Get away. Maybe it's the volume profile actually that's tripping out on me. If I wanted to get long XRP, I don't like that. Maybe a move up here actually makes sense. Yeah. Maybe here. Maybe even below that. Maybe I'd actually come down here and take that. That's really close to these lows though on XRP. It's really close to these lows. What does XRP against BTC look like? Yeah, like crap. XRP looks horrible. And XRP just doesn't look good here, Scotty. I don't like it. Let's do this. XRP USDT against Hype USDT. Now you guys think I'm crazy. Yeah, I'd like for it to take that low first, man. If it can take this low here, maybe. I think we're going to be doing a lot of hype chart pairs. I'm just warning you guys. I'm just warning you now. That's true. Okay, pump it. Funny guy. Jump spike in the next 10 minutes. Watch it. Jump is a ticker or what? Scotty doesn't know, so don't tell Scotty. I gotcha. 114 top. Yeah, that's right around that 116 I was looking at, right? What's up, goat? We got El Chivo. El Chivo Masivo. That dang kernel, man. I'm telling you. You never long XRP. It was only meant to short. True that. What's my number for Bitcoin bottom? I don't really know. I will tell you if it follows what the last couple bear. Okay, let's just do this. Let's just do this. This is the easiest way to answer that question. Okay. If it follows what Bitcoin has done the last couple cycles, right? These are the numbers. This is just the facts. These are just the facts. It's not my opinion. These are the facts. From cycle bottom to cycle top, you see 1,064 days. 1,064 bottom to top, bottom to top. Okay. Here, it's a little clearer if I go to the weekly. Okay. Let's do this. There's just a little more detail in it. So 1,064 days, bottom to top. 1,064 days, bottom to top. Okay. 1,064. You can see it right here. 1064, 1064, 152 bars, 152 bars, 152 bars did it this time as well. So 3 times bottom to top, 1,064 days. Now, top to bottom, 364 days. Here, top to bottom, 364 days. So 52 weekly bars. Back in 2021, same thing. Top to bottom, 364 days, 52 weekly bars. So 52 weeks, okay? A year, basically, right? If that were to repeat again off of the 126 high, we are looking at Monday, October 5th, right? Monday, October 5th of this year, somewhere around that week, a few days before, a few days after. If this is to repeat, I don't know if it's going to repeat. I don't know if it is. I'm just saying that if it follows this data again, it would be that first week of October. And you had an 84% drawdown back here in 18, a 74% drawdown here in 22. So if this time, if you do the math and you kind of find what that average should be based on how this is reducing from 84 to 74, that puts you at about 72. So if you had a 72% move down, right? If you had a 72% move down, that's going to put you somewhere right here at about 34K or so, somewhere around there. Somewhere around there. Okay. So I think that makes sense. If this repeats again, that's roughly where that's going to be. That's roughly where that's going to be. And then this can also, you take that same math. If it does repeat and you put in a low around there, take that same math and project out where the next high is likely to be, right? In terms of timing. It's a little harder to do the upside because you had from here to here, you had almost 12,000% to the upside. Then the next one, you only had 2,000, right? So from 12,000 to only 2,000, and then from 2,000 to only 700. So what's the next one? I don't know. 200, 300%, maybe less. Is it 100, right? Because you went from 2 to 700. You didn't cut it in half. You went below that. So 350 would be cutting it in half. But if it's less than that, is it 300? Is it 200? Right? What is it? But over here, you went from almost 12,000 to only 2,000. That is a significant reduction there. So I don't know. This is just the data. Again, I don't know where the bottom's going to be. The bottom could be in now. But if it's following this data, that's what this data says. Right? And another fun chart that agrees with this as well is, do I still have it? No, maybe it's not here. Hold on. Yes, I do. Another fun chart that agrees with that, or at least has similar dates and targets, is this is what Bitcoin does after every new Fed chair appointment or reappointment. So you had Janet Yellen back here in February of 14. Bitcoin dropped 79.9, so 80%. Bitcoin dropped 80%. February of 2018, Jerome Powell, for first term, Bitcoin dropped 65%. Right? Bitcoin dropped 65%. Second term for Powell, May of 2022, dropped 50%. And then now we've got Warsh here with May of this year. I got to go get the exact date that happened and then project that out. But still, the point is, we were up here near 80K or something like that when that happened, or may have already been dropping after that. But I don't know. What does the downside look like? Is it 30% this time? Maybe 32%. That puts you at about 50K, right? Less than that puts you up here kind of where we are. So is it almost done based on this? Or, if you were to get another 50%, that puts you in the 30s. I don't know, but this basically says, though, that after every Fed chair, we do have some downside. Just hard to know exactly how much. And over here was 350 days, 300 days, a little bit under 200 days. So I don't know, is this time 150 days, 100 days till the bottom is in? If it happens in October, you're kind of looking around here. That would kind of make sense with that. So again, this this is just information on the chart. You can make of it what you will. It's just some data. I'm going back and just reading data that's on the chart. Not my speculation, just the data on the chart. All right. Let's see here. What am I missing? Do I think hype is going to be a big winner during the bull market? It's a good question. It's a good question. I think hype could pull back in the short term. So if I think if we get a pump in Bitcoin that gets up into the 70s, and if we see Solana going up near the hundreds, all that stuff, I actually think there's a possibility that hype can cool off or even correct during that time. And my part of the reasoning for that, aside from like just actual, analysis on the chart, is that while everything else has been correcting, hype has been you could say hype has been in a bull market all year. You can kind of say that hype's been in a bull market since January of this year, since like late January. Hyperliquid is up, almost 300%. So I don't know. Could it be heading down for a little while before it continues up? And then, I think if hype does go again aggressively, I think it's probably after the new year. But it's just hard to say. It's hard to say. I do think there could be a neat opportunity to get some good buying opportunity on it, though, if this thing that we're watching plays out. But it's too soon to call it. It's too soon to call it. But if this thing fails on a push up here and starts breaking down below this structure, then I think likely it's got a little more downside to go, and we may be able to buy it, certainly under $50, but maybe even under $40 again, which could be cool. Could be cool to own some at those prices again. So all kinds of people are super bullish right now. All kinds of people are super bullish. I just do my thing, man. I don't have the time or the mental capacity to worry about who else is bullish or bearish or any of that. And definitely don't have time to be out there, copying other people's charts. Just sometimes, people are looking at the same stuff. It just happens, when you got people that are sitting in front of these charts, scrolling through charts, looking for things that look interesting. You're not going to be the only one that's looking at a setup. You're not going to be the only one that's having an idea and you think, ooh, no one else is posting this. Sure, buddy. Millions of people on this platform. Surely you're the only one who thought of that. Surely you're the only one who saw that chart and had that idea and drew that line. Yes, you're special. So, come on, guys. It doesn't happen. At any given time, dozens, if not hundreds or thousands of people are all looking at the same thing at the same time, having the same ideas, right? The proof in this is how many times have you thought of, ooh, that sounds like a really good idea. I should invent a thing that does this, this, and that. And then later on, you find out that someone already invented it. It's because we're not special. It's because we're not that different. It's because we all think about the same stuff because we have the same struggles for the most part. So, yeah, it's kind of funny, but, people are taking my trust and posting them on their paid Discord. Some people still tell. I do believe that, but I will say you can always tell like where the blatant theft is happening because they don't even change anything. It's like literally right click, save, and then repost, right? So, it happens. And yeah, and some people get inspiration from others. I actually don't think there's anything wrong with that. There's a lot of times that I see someone post something and I'm like, ooh, I should go take a look at that. And sometimes we end up with a similar conclusion, right? But it's that's fine. It's like someone can have an idea that inspires me and I can have an idea that inspires someone else. I think that's fine. I'm definitely against like taking other people's stuff though and putting it off as like your own. It's like, ooh, here, check this out, guys. It's like, no, that's not your chart. Go mark up your own chart. PLTR. Let's look at it. You're probably going to get a move towards that high again. If it just took that 6-month low, if it sweeps it, could probably head up towards that high again. Yeah, I think I'd lean towards the sweep of the low before higher if it's going for a new high. Otherwise, it's like come take that and then head lower, right? Pick your poison. Pick your poison. Sweep the low and go for the high. Take the high and make another low. Head lower. Right. Anyway, we could look at SOF. Is that a crypto? Or what is that? Or is it this? Sophia Genetics. Is it that? Or is there something over here? This. Which one? The crypto? Okay. Got you. So this one. Did not sweep that, huh? That's the quarterly low, quarterly high. I'd like for it to sweep that low first. More than likely. Yeah, it hasn't quite taken it. So here you're looking at what? Low 00457. 00457. So you basically had a double tap of the low there. Yeah, this one, I mean, really until you need to put in some structure here. This is still very much downtrending. Man, if it had wiped out to the downside, I think there could have been an opportunity. But even here, you're kind of like rejecting off the same area again. Yeah, I would have liked it more if it had come down and taken the low, which could still happen. Or at this point, you could be taking a high here and then heading lower still. Wonder if it has a tendency to do these scam pump things like that. And it does quite a few of those. Oh yeah, look at that. Okay. So it does look to do those little scammy pumps. Did that sweep that low back there? Barely. Yeah, I don't know what this is. I would be careful still with this. Either wait for it to continue putting in some structure here so that you can have a little more clarity, but even then, I'm not crazy about it. Not crazy about it. It's got a lot of room to the upside. Give me 1 sec, guys. Hold on. 1 sec. All right, I'm back. Let's see here. I'm in at the bottom of the last drop. So here, you got in on that one. I mean, hey, you picked up a good entry. Now the work is defending it, right? The work is defending it and managing your risk so you don't get wiped out. I mean, ideally, I think what you would want to see here is like you want to see this, maybe do a couple of these, give you a few more like that. At some point, there could be a bigger pullback, but yeah, you definitely want to see it do a little bit more of this, confirm that it's kind of wanting to continue going higher. But anything below here, really, I mean, really below this last week high, could just be a trap for lower. Because you can even do like a channel here, and effectively like nothing's really changed, right? This can come up, scam wake up here, and then just head lower. But hey, if you got in down here, good entry. Good job. All right, guys, I'm gonna jump. I think we covered most of what we needed to review. Yeah, keep an eye on lighter. Keep an eye on lighter. Again, I don't know for sure that we're gonna get that that move that we talked about. Right? I don't know for a fact if we're gonna get that move, but if it starts heading lower, I'll be paying attention for sure. Anything below that last week high is definitely worth paying attention to. So even if it breaks, maybe a retest could be a nice little opportunity lower. And then ultimately, I do think though that this thing probably just continues up, anyways. But that is that's it. That is looking though like it might give it. Yeah, might give the trade. We'll see how that does. Last check on BTC, still looking okay. Still hanging out, putting up a fight. Keep an eye on ETH BTC as well. Keep an eye on ETH BTC. Sol still looking okay. Yeah. SWE, not a lot to report in terms of SWE. But that's it, guys. Simple. Not a whole lot other than that. But appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging. Hey, good. I'm glad you're able to come on, and glad you're able to get a question in. Yeah, thanks for hanging with us. Thanks for participating. Appreciate the participation for sure. It is way better when you guys are commenting. When you guys are commenting, it makes these things go by so fast compared to like when you're by yourself. It's just sometimes these can drag. So that's it, guys. Appreciate y'all. Make sure you are following Wolf Bitcoin, both X and YouTube. Always appreciate when you guys like, repost, comment, all that type of stuff. Share these out. Help us spread the word. Get more people in front of these streams. And go check out Public at public.com/wolf. Go support our show sponsor. Yeah, man. Cheers. And is there, let me double check if there's another show coming up. I know this is a shorter week because of holiday. And I actually think the market isn't tomorrow a bank holiday? I think tomorrow's a bank holiday, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think tomorrow is for a long weekend. So keep that in mind as you're trading. Tomorrow is technically like a weekend, so it'll be lower liquidity, maybe more shenanigans that could happen. But yeah, nothing else. There's no more shows tonight on the schedule that I can see, and no more spaces. So I do believe this is basically it for the week. Is it for the week? This is it for the week. Cool. Well, we'll see you guys around. Likely there'll be some spaces and stuff to jump into anyways. Maybe not out of Wolf Bitcoin this time, but out of maybe the community. We can jump in some stuff that other people are hosting. But with that, I'll probably stream again off my personal. I didn't get to it last night. I'm going to try tonight, guys. I'm going to try to do one tonight off of my personal. And if not, I will do one tomorrow since there's not any Wolf content, any Wolf streams tomorrow. I will, I'll run one off my personal tomorrow whenever I get a little bit of time, and we'll check it out. Because I definitely, even though I'll be out, I'll be celebrating with the fam as well. Had a birthday this week as well that we're kind of putting off towards the weekend anyways. So we'll be doing, 4th of July plus birthday celebrations. And, we'll be back. So, but go touch grass. Don't be afraid to leave these charts for a day or two. Yeah, exactly. No man's land. There you go. Back on Monday. Nothing happens. You'd be surprised. Not that much will happen over a couple days. Rarely do you have a day or two that are massively impactful, and that give you kind of like the I missed it. Like it's pretty rare. It's actually very, very rare. So go touch grass. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Have a great weekend. Happy 4th of July for celebrating. For those of you watching World Cup games, those are going pretty well. So enjoy that, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.